Phew. The next big rally is right around the corner. That's right. It's time to buy stocks because the rocket ship is here and it's time to have some fun. All right. All jokes aside, that's right. It might be a trap. Read this right here because this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about complacency. So if you're saying, phew, all we had to do was cool off because the next big rally is right around the corner. Well, you might be at a risk of falling into these next boxes here. That's really what I want to explain to you today. So the reason why I'm saying don't fall for it again is because just because Trump says buy does not mean you should. He said, you better get out and buy stocks. Let me tell you this. Why? Because this country's going to go up like a rocket ship, straight up. I'm not so sure. So just because someone says to do something, you don't have to say, yes, master, let's go buy stocks. Because believe it or not, the market actually tells you what it's doing every day. All you have to do is to interpret it. That there is room for interpretation, just like a doctor who's looking for a diagnosis. But I think the market's getting desensitized, and I'll show you the reason why. Phew, time to go buy stocks. Thank God we just cooled off because the next big rally is right around the corner. And yes, on a massive gap down and a huge move higher, 10% intraday, it was time to go buy stocks. Today, not so much. The market appears desensitized. And I say that because whether or not you realized it, there is a lot of conflicting data here. We actually closed lower than we opened. So we actually have a full candle. And I was talking about this morning. When we get a couple of full candles, oh boy, it's usually a correction. Unless they come in and pump. And boy, the pumps are really not working as much as they used to. Yes, we're higher. Yes, we're above yesterday's high. The problem is that we broke the range, but failed to hold it. So yes, we continue to go higher. Yes, we're green. Yes, we're higher, but it's failing. And the volume is terrible. The volume sucks. Why is the volume red today? Because we closed lower than we opened and I'm using hollow candles. That's it. So what's really happening here? It's called distribution. Slowly but surely and gradually sell in small blocks to not inundate the market, because if retail wants to buy, let them. They want to buy trillions, sell them trillions of dollars worth of stock because retail traders buy stocks to the largest level in 10 years. Okay. Retail traders see an epic buying opportunity. That's right. Time to buy stocks. Money losing retail trout continues to buy stocks as the market teeters. Markets go up, buy stocks. Markets go down, probably want to buy some stocks. Markets go sideways, probably buy some stocks. So retail traders keep buying the dip and they keep getting burned. Well, why do they keep doing it? A lot of people do what they're told. And they're told, hey, listen here. I'm a rich billionaire who makes money off people like you, but you know what you should do? Wait right there. Wait. Don't sell your stocks. Trust Trump, right? Trust in Trump. Hold. But don't just hold. You should buy. Well, there's the news and the reaction to the news. This sounds an awful lot like smart money versus dumb money. That's right. You buy my stock, it go down, but you should buy more. Oh my goodness. Why? I'll use this correction to increase my position. Brilliant. At this price, I'm going to double it. Stupid bears. Here's what some other investors are actually saying. I respect Adam Parker. It's not easy. It's not as easy as just to buy because the president says to. Really? Because retail is. Retail traders plow $67 billion into U.S. stocks, while investment giants flee. Why are they fleeing? Because this message is distributed by, right? Integral, ironically, a market maker. Anyways, why are they not buying? Why is Adam Park and other people not really wanting to jump in? Because they don't understand what's going on here. They understand the rules of investing. Arguably from the goat here. Investments must be rational. If you can't understand it, don't do it. Really? And it's only when the tide goes out you find out who's been swimming naked. We haven't heard about anyone naked lately, so hey, it's time to be receptive to what could be happening here. We can note that Stromer beats Trump in line for a race to beat India to a trade deal. And this is important because there's something called buy the hype, sell the news. So even with all this hype, we're going to roll out dozens of deals over the next month. Nice. Have we heard that before? Of course we have. That's how the market is discounting it. Because they're like, look, this guy looks like a cuck. Yeah, well, I'm trying to run the futures over here, so can you please give me a break? I want to rival the CME, but it's not working so hot, so I got to go manipulate the market down because I just sold. Again, making a little bit of a joke, but not really. So he also told us the same thing, that 10% is going to be on the low end. So the trade template with the UK, which is sit down in person with Trump, public posturing, 11th hour ask from Trump, basically saying, all right, we want a little bit more flattery, a little bit of brown nosing, deal gets signed, and then 10% is the low end. That's what I heard. This morning on the stream, we went through a couple of potential swans, some black, some white. I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. If you could please consider smashing the thumbs up or subscribing to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. So we talked about things like DeepSeek, Taiwan, India. I added a few more here. So Q2, we could get a recession that could turn into stagflation, a recession, or a depression. We could have delistings of ADRs or Chinese companies like Baba and JD. We could have WW. We could have a big C. We could have a financial accident. We could have a failed bond auction. We could have NO. I'm not going to say that word. YouTube hates it. New reserve currency, delinquencies and bankruptcies. Or we could have some global peace or a China deal. Man, that list is pretty small compared to this one. Yeah, it is. So what should you do? Invest accordingly. Or don't. It's really up to you. I can't force you to do anything you don't want to. So the UK is nice, but like the EU is like a lot bigger. And we were told there was going to be an update on news this week, or they were going to retaliate. What are they doing? They're retaliating. They have things like cars, planes, bourbon. If there's no deal, oh, why does this also matter? Well, have a look here. We have the 10-year auction and the 30-year auction that happened this week. So the reason why I'm looking at these is because I'm looking at what the last reading was versus now. This is where we were on Tuesday, and it was actually a little bit lower. The 10-year note went from 4.4 to 4.3. So not overcomplicated. The auction went okay. This one here, a little bit higher. It's roughly in line, though. Why does all this matter? It's pretty simple. If we go here to the day that actually got Trump to blink, it was right here. Where are we? We're higher than that area. It's 4.3. Where are we right now? 4.39, 4.4. Oh, that seems bad. It is. But if all you do is look at SPY or Tesla or Bitcoin, you're missing the whole picture because there's a lot more data out there. And the data suggests that if we want to get a warning to fail, like I showed you on other charts, we have to do the failing part. So the W is here. I'm pointing to it. The yellow box is the breakdown part. So what we need to do is break down. We got to lose the 50 MA. Haven't even done that. It's stubborn. It wants to go up. After we lose the 50, then we have to lose the 200. That's the confirmation we're going to go even further down. We can't even lose the 50. It's over the 50 MA here. It's bouncing off of it. If you look closely, it's bouncing off the blue line. Oh, well, didn't SPY hit the blue line today? Yeah, but it rejected. I'm not trying to fearmonger today. I want to make sure you're prepared. So look what happened here. Kiss the 50, and then it gets stomped. It gets wrecked. Is there any other charts that got wrecked today? No. Oh, what? Man, India got wrecked. Deal with the UK, deal with the US, fired. Oh, wow. It got fired for sure. Yeah, look at that. -3. Nice little haircut. Ironically, the same percent decline I was talking about when, hey, whether it was a hawkish cut, whatever, be ready for a 3% cut. If you are, hey, you'll be pleasantly surprised it didn't happen. Could happen today, could not happen, but the evidence is stacking up here. All right, so we had that 10-year auction, the 30-year auction. Tomorrow, on Friday, there's Victory Day. So let's see what happens. Is it, what day is it today? Man, been one of those weeks. Oh, tomorrow's Friday already. Oh, wow, okay. So Victory Day tomorrow, right? Victory. So the US has victory. Russia has victory. Great. Well, this was supposed to happen too. EU deal. There were supposed to be terms from the EU. Did you see that? I didn't. Must have missed it. Or maybe it didn't happen. Maybe that's why they're prepping Boeing to get fired, cars to get fired, right? Pew, pew, pew. You tell me in the comment section who's going to be next. Whew. So, all right. And then we were told, Trump told us 2 weeks ago that this would be the end of the first 2 to 3 week window where we would get deals. We got one. We were originally told 90 deals in 90 days. I'm not here to make fun of Trump anymore. He does that all for himself. I don't have to do any work. DeepSeek, did that happen? No. But when did DeepSeek actually get released? It was called DeepSeek Monday. What's happening on Saturday? Awfully big coincidence. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm Nostradamus. It doesn't matter. I sold some stocks today, and I bought some stocks today. That's all that matters. I'm making some moves. Oh, I also forgot to mention that if you're still watching and you are a member on the YouTube channel, you should go check the community posts for a special note. All right, so all this stuff, right? 2-week window. Scott sent, Lutnick says next couple of weeks. It's always been a couple of weeks. Kick the can, blah, blah, blah. It's always the same stuff. Next week, there's even more in the docket, right? Brazil, China, B7. Oh, it's hosted in Canada. Yes, sir. So remember, the template that I showed you here, who else has come to the White House, kissed the ring, flattered him, done public posturing, and could get a deal? Well, we know about India. Who else came? Drop me a comment. You should tell me. There was who? Oh, who owns Canada? Oh, that's right. The owners are actually the king. So who's the king? Hey, is it Trump? Is it going to be, what's his name? Prince Charles? Man, I don't know. Who cares? Let's move forward. After we get through next week, we got even more to get through. Xi's going to go to China, date to be determined. Then we got Italian elections, NVIDIA earnings. Oh, my goodness. And there's even more. We get into June, WWDC. Then we got the G7 being hosted. We got TikTok deadline, 90-day extension deadline. We got July 4th. Then we got more stuff and more G20. Oh, my goodness. Here's the notes for today. Be mindful. The idea here was that we wanted to repeat last week. And there's a very simple reason why. We want to have increasingly more cushion as we continue to go higher. So right now on the monthly, we are cautiously bearish. I'm going to be flipping to cautiously bullish on the daily. We have one engulfing candle yesterday, so we defer to the dominant trend. But today, we do actually have a higher high and a higher low. Oops, I forgot to update that there. There's an error on there. I'll do that after. So if we go to SPY here, again, what I'm looking at is the last 3 candles. So what I often say is that if there's more time on the chart, there's more significance. So what we're really trying to determine for the relative score is just this right here. It's just the last 3 candles. What do the last 3 candles tell us? And it tells us the likelihood of tomorrow. Again, possible, probable. Those are 2 different things. So lower low, higher high. Well, now we have low, higher low, and we closed above. We closed above the previous high. That's bullish for the 3 candles. When I look at the pattern here, look how many more candles are in here. There's way more than 3. So yes, short term, that's what the candle says. That's the trend, the short-term trend. The short-term trend on the weekly is bullish. We're not repeating, though. So we can't get more than 4 out of 4. This week we have a higher high, we have a lower low, so technically a higher low, but we have a failed breakout and a red hollow candle, so higher than we opened, still red, and a fail break. Yeah, it's complicated. The reason why this is important is because both teams can look at the chart and see what they want, right? The bulls are going to say, look, bullish engulfing, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. The bears are going to say, look, you got rejected on the 50 and a head and shoulders on the neckline, exactly where I would sell it. You're a red on the week. Both teams can say what they want. So if in doubt, zoom out. And when I zoom out, this is what gets me increasingly concerned. Did I have it typed up here? Oh, I thought I might have already read it. I must have jumped over it. What I wanted to say was that good news is having increasingly muted effects. So what could bad news do? Man, bad news could wreck us. We talked about this yesterday, so right? Give your head a shake if you need to. Don't be like stupid salmon. Be like water. Because these alerts, oh boy, when they pop off, I'm going to be watching them like a hawk. So here we got Bitcoin, another sell the news. Over here, I'm looking to the all-time high, which is actually on January 20th. That's the low and high here, 99K, 109. What happened on January 20th? It was election night, and it was a sell the rip. Sell it, sell the news. Is that what happened with the UK and others? Hey, we're going to find out. If Bitcoin is tracking, here's the important caveats, right? If Trump is right and we're going to go moon, we're going to go Mars, we're going to go Andromeda and beyond, all we got to do is this. We got to go up more. We got to bust that 200 DMA. Look what happened here, right? Boom, boom, boom. It cleared it. So the W is done, but we're stalling out here. There's your W, right? I showed it before. We can show you one SPX. I think I have it done here. 1 second. SPX, one-day chart. There you go. So we haven't broken the high on a close. So if we go to a line chart, it's not higher. It is a cup and handle, but we need to break out to confirm it's bullish. We can't go even higher without going up a bit more. So what does that mean? Look, volume is bullish here. Excuse me. That's what I'm highlighting. Volume is bullish. We blow through that 200 MA. Boom. What's supposed to happen into the weekend? Supposed to be the trade talk. Trump said to buy. So if he's right, man, let's go. If not, we got death inside of a kangaroo. Kangaroos bounce all around. That's what we've been doing the last few sessions, and there's death there. So all we got to do is do that. If we're still tracking the S&P, we're going to stay bullish on the weekly candle, which I showed you. Right now, it's 4 out of 4. Otherwise, might get a little bit yippy or noisy. Here's one more thing to pay attention to into next week. It's going to be CPI. So if we're going to get that massive pump, that beautiful pump, that big, sexy pump, how's that going to happen? We're going to have to hold it. We're going to have another reason to go up. What could that be? Man, CPI coming in nice and low. If it comes in at 2.0 or 2.1, whatever, Jerome Powell's going to have an increasingly harder time putting off the pressure. He doesn't care about CPI. He cares about PCE. And during the press conference yesterday, I heard him say, we're likely going to blink first on unemployment. So I would be surprised if, it would be odd if the herd was mostly bearish because the market's greedy right now. So when I see retail traders coming into the chat, dumb money, sorry to say it again, dumb money, basically telling me, oh, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I get increasingly excited about that. It makes me excite. Why? Because the only way you make meaningful money is by betting against the herd. So I very much appreciate that I'm getting increasingly more evidence. And most people don't even know they're helping me. They think they're making fun of me. I'm like, oh, you don't even know what you're doing. I actually enjoy it. I'm making an effort to not respond to any comments anymore because my time is valuable. And so is probably yours. So think about this as we're closing out here. What did Warren Buffett give you as a key takeaway from his retirement, basically? He's 94 years old. He's happy. He says happy people live longer. But here's a key takeaway. I'm somewhat critical of everything by nature. Critical? Oh, critical thinking. That means you have to think for yourself. Oh, if I just listen to the TV or if someone says, buy stonks, it's going to go like moon now. Well, what you don't understand is that to have success repeatedly, you have to literally do something like this. You have to have a theory, make an observation, ask a question, why, make a hypothesis or a theory. Then you have to experiment. You do more analysis. Then you come to a conclusion. So if you have a hypothesis or a theory, I would love for you to share it in the comment section. Why? Because all we're doing is playing the odds. There's always a range of outcomes. So when stock market analysts provide outcomes, they actually provide usually 3 numbers: a base case, a bull case, and a bear case. That's what I'm trying to do. The base case would be what my assumptions lead me to. Again, my observation leads to a hypothesis and an experiment. But if I get negative feedback, I stop. Oh, because my goal is not to be unsurprised, it's to be as least surprised as possible. And with that said, I very much look forward to seeing you on the next video. Oh, I didn't have the banner correct the whole time. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.